All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. My name is Evan Watson. I am here with Marvin Van Buren, my regular guest, and this is the another edition. Excuse me, I forgot how to talk because this is the official Wrestlemania 31 review show. And Marvin and I, we just finished watching the show like 15 minutes ago. We're kind of on a pretty good high. We did not expect. They did the right thing tonight, Marvin. That's all I'm going to say. They absolutely did the right thing here. WrestleMania 31 is in the books from awesome crowd in Santa Clara, California. I'm just gonna run through it. What'd you think of? Were you happy with what you saw? Because I knew you came in late, but
yeah, I had a job today that ran into the night, but results and stuff. Evan put me up to speed. But for what I saw, I'm happy.
Okay, cool.
I'm happy.
So we start out. I watched some of the kickoff show before. It's actually not bad. Like that panel thing, it's kind of growing on me, mainly because like Renee Young, she's kind of like been carrying that. So she's like, I like looking at her and I like listening to her talk because not only she's beautiful, she definitely knows. She treats the wrestling like it's a big deal in their eyes. So I'm glad they at least treat it with some class in that aspect. So pre-show was pretty decent. I really like the video packages. And you could tell they re-signed Brock Lesnar and you could tell that Mania had some budget cuts. Because I'll be honest, one thing I could say, the Mania set, while it looked good, they clearly had to scale back on some things this year. It's not only because I've been watching previous WrestleManias, like WrestleMania 9, that was like in Caesar's Palace, and that was like this crazy setup. And then we're talking about the WrestleMania 19 set, how that felt like 2 miles before we got to
the exactly.
It was but that I love that set. Like that was actually really a great set. And I was getting in the WrestleMania spirit, and WrestleMania 19 is actually my favorite WrestleMania of all time because it had Hogan McMahon, which I thought told a good story. You had the final Rock Austin match. You had Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho, Triple H and Booker T, a 3-way tag team match. Matt Hardy and Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight match. And the show ended with Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar, which was
the greatest WrestleMania match of all time.
The greatest WrestleMania match of all time, arguably. I think arguably it's definitely up there with one of the championship matches. And Brock Lesnar, that boy looked like a champion tonight, man. But we'll get into that. So what they did this year is that they took 2 shows. Now last year the tag team match was on the pre-show. It was a pretty good tag team title match, and they kind of kept the same thing this year with the Fatal 4-Way. This year, they also added the Andre the Giant Battle Royal to the pre-show, so they took a match out, and they did a promo later on, where I think is where the time that would have been given to the Battle Royal match went to this other segment, but it was actually really awesome that involved the Authority, so we'll get to that. Well, yeah, a good segment involving the Authority, I said that, and you'll know why in a little bit. So it opens out with the tag team title match. Usos, Los Matadores, The New Day, which is just a horrendous gimmick, and I feel bad for all 3 of those guys because that New Day gimmick that should not be the thing. When they introduced the 3 of them last June, I was actually very intrigued at what they were going. Almost like I hate using the Nation of Domination comparison mainly because they're black, but it just felt like a more intelligent version of the Nation. That's what they were going with, or it's like a more PG version of the Nation. A more PG version of the Nation and stuff like that. So, and then it didn't go to that. So unfortunately, Kofi, Biggie, and Xavier Woods, they're stuck in this bad gimmick, which is terrible. And of course, the most legit tag team, you have the Usos in there, and of course, the most legit tag team champions in a while, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Really good back and forth action. The crowd was really into it. And one thing I want to say about this WrestleMania is that this is really the first time where the current stars really got the platform.
And that's so important.
And that was so important. And I thought they were in, and as 31 shaping up, and at the end of last year, I'm like, wow, they're really going to have to really have their guys step up this year, or at least step up with using their guys is what I should say, because some of these guys step up all the time. But I think I gotta condemn them for really the current stars were put in pretty high profile spots. So I very much appreciate that. But back to the tag team title match. One interesting note: one of the Usos was injured. He had a leg injury, but I think they really needed him to work. They really needed him. They just wanted the Usos as a part of the match because they're the most over tag team right now, so they couldn't not get rid of them, or they couldn't get rid of them. But what they did in the beginning of the match, which I thought was really smart, is that they had Jey Uso, who was the injured one. Jimmy's the one who's married to Naomi, who's on Total Divas. Yeah, Jey Uso, he gets taken out before the match even starts, which I thought was a good way of protecting him. Awesome back and forth action. But in the end, I believe it was Antonio Cesaro. I like Antonio, even though he's not Antonio anymore. I still call him Antonio. Antonio Cesaro gets the pinfall, I think, on Big E. And after a great fast pace, a really good crowd opener. It was kind of tough. Like the match, it was like the first thing. People are still filing in seats. People are still line getting drinks. It's tough having a match on that early because you got to think that match was at 3:00 in the afternoon in terms of the time difference.
Yeah, difference. Yeah.
Yeah, because the match started around 6:00 on this time, so it was 3:00 over there. So they did a really good match and awesome crowd, great crowd in San Jose and Santa Clara tonight. Really lively. I cannot wait to see Raw tomorrow night, where you have half of that same crowd in a more indoor setting. So it's going to be pretty electric. Yeah, it was a really great opening tag team match. They did one spot I liked in the match is that I think Cesaro had people up on his shoulders and Big E had people up on his shoulders. And you had two guys on the turnbuckle, then you had two guys on top, and then they did that little tower spot.
Yeah.
So they had a really nice kind of tower collide spot there. So I thought that was very good. And then one spot, Tyson Kidd I forgot who it was, but he lifts someone up. He lifts someone in the air, and then Cesaro caught him with the uppercut. Just a great match. Natty Neidhart, man, ooh, she looks beautiful every time. There's a spot where she puts El Torito in the sharpshooter. I'm like, oh, poor Natty. She needs to be Divas champion. She needs to. Yeah, I think she's in line for women's title reign. But soon.
What's good about that match was the most credible in-ring workers won
the match, and it really set the tone. It really set the tone for what the rest of the night was going to be. So, very good opening match. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro still the tag team champions. Now you got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The NXT star Hideo Itami was in this match because he won a tournament during the Access show, so you got a little NXT flavor in there. Unfortunately, it didn't really last too long. Hidami was over. He certainly was over. And then Big Show's been like a heat machine lately. Big Show's been eliminated Tommy to a chorus of boos. Ryback had a pretty good showing in the match. He eliminated a lot of guys. But the final three, it was The Miz, Damien Sandow, and Big Show. And one thing I like that they've been doing on Raw the past couple weeks, Marv, is that they took this sort of Mizdow kind of mid-card comedy feud and actually made it really entertaining, in my opinion. And I thought they really milked the crowd here extremely well when Miz was trying to get Mizdow to help throw Big Show out. And they finally had the face-to-face. The crowd was really eating it alive. Miz is really, Miz is a good talker, man. Miz knows how to generate some heel heat. You were saying Miz is one of those guys that could put the belt. They could put the belt on him tomorrow, if worst case scenario.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Miz is one of those guys. He's like the Swiss Army knife of.
He really is like the Swiss Army knife of that company. Yeah. When they put the belt on Miz at the end of 2010, I thought Miz really stepped up at a time when they really needed some breakouts, and they asked, and I really thought Miz held his own as a heel champion. I thought Miz did a really great job while he was champion. Even as a heel, even as the cocky heel, he's, Miz, you need talkers, You absolutely need talkers. You need people to help you sell things. I still think Miz has that credibility. And I think now Mizdow eliminates Miz during the match, so the crowd goes ape shit. You think Mizdow's actually going to beat the Big Show. So they go on back and forth. Mizdow and Big Show comes down to them. They fall a little bit more. The finish of the match was Big Show was inside the ring. Mizdow was outside the ring. He picks up Mizdow while Big Show was inside the ring. And he kind of slams him to the floor. Kind of slams Mizdow to the floor. Both feet to the ground. The winner of the 2015 Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is the Big Show. The crowd booed. They were not happy. It makes sense. It was actually a really cool shot. You can see the picture online with Big Show actually using the exact same poses on Andre the Giant next to the trophy. So he had to win it at some point. So at least they got that thing out the way. I'm not sure how. It was actually a pretty good battle royal. Like they worked it well. They worked the crowd well. I guess I'm not sure how long they're going to keep doing this every year, but it worked out this time. So, not bad. The actual show starts. So the Battle Royal ends. The actual show starts. Aloe Black sang "America the Beautiful." Pretty good job. The stage looked great. The crowd was hot and it looked full. And off we were. The opening match was for the Intercontinental Championship. It was a 7-way ladder match. You had the defending champion, Bad News Wade Barrett, against Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, Stardust, Luke Harper, R-Truth. Yeah, and those were the guys. Really good ladder match. Why do they keep putting the belt on the IC belt on Bad News Barrett if you're not going to go all the way with him? With booking, like, what is with Bad News Barrett that you think is kind of holding them back? Because again, like,
injury prone, man.
I guess maybe he's injury prone. They probably don't see him.
He's the Derrick Rose of the WWE, of wrestling in general. He's injury prone. He's that guy that has the tools to be a main eventer, but injuries deters him. And with injuries in the WWE, they do not like injuries, because if you're a wrestler, they said it this weekend, time off as a wrestler is your worst enemy, because you can be, and you asked Daniel Bryan that. Daniel Bryan's about to be an example here of what I mean by, if you get injured, you can lose whatever heat you had, you can lose. I thought Wade Barrett was fantastic as leader of the Nexus. That was like the best thing he's done. Unfortunately, he ran into the Cena wall, and he never really recovered from that. That was 5 years. That was almost 5 years ago. So, unfortunately, it was a great match. Pretty good spots. Dean Ambrose had 2 really good ladder bumps here. He did an elbow off the ladder from the outside, and he also got powerbombed through a ladder, so that was really good. But my favorite spot in the match was when Bad News Barrett, he actually suplexed Stardust. It was a superplex off the ladder to the floor, and the back hit the canvas hard, man. It's a really good looking spot. Hopefully, Bad News is okay. Because actually, Bad News when he fell, that Wade Barrett's body kind of like, it's almost like with the impact, his body kind of like did a little torque thing, a little flip thing. So I don't think he's hurt. He didn't look hurt. It was just a pretty vicious looking spot. The ending was sick. Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler, they're climbing up to the belt. They're fighting. They're punching each other, and they actually do a series of headbutts. They just go headbutt after headbutt. So Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler just headbutting the hell out of each other. And, Dolph Ziggler gets knocked down. Daniel Bryan's the only one left. Crowd's chanting yes. Grabs the IC belt. The new Intercontinental Champion is Daniel Bryan, hence officially being demoted from to the mid card. Yes. Officially demoted, man.
It made sense to put the belt on Bryan if you wanna sort of shut up these fans, but I don't know, dude. It just solidified, unless they're trying to elevate those belts, it just solidified that Daniel Bryan, he's the mid card in their eyes, and that's how it is, man. But it was absurd. It was crazy. So moving on, the second match, which might have been the match of possibly the match of the night here, was Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins. Great classic wrestling match against probably the 2 best workers in the whole company right now. And when you see it, you'll see the match, and it might have been the best worked match of the whole night. And it was the second match on the card.
Honestly, I kind of figured that was going to be the case.
Yeah, absolutely. Orton has had some great WrestleMania performances, but this actually might be behind the match she had with. This might be my top 3 Orton WrestleMania matches. In all honesty, behind the match with Punk at 27, which I thought was really good, and in all honesty, probably the match she had 10 years ago with The Undertaker. Like, I loved that match. And it was really that match with The Undertaker. In terms of these Undertaker streak matches, it was really that match with Orton that really started, like, Undertaker having, like, these 5-star matches at Mania, which really started that trend. So, 10 years ago was that great 05 match that Orton had. So, but this match with Seth Rollins might be in my top 3. I thought it was that good. The match with Triple H at 25 was disappointing because that was a great build, and for some reason, the match dramatically just didn't put together. That was a feud where Orton, like, he kicked Vince McMahon in the head. He kissed Stephanie. He was handcuffed. Got a DDT. Yeah. Triple H broke into his house. That was like a great build-up. And
he won the Royal Rumble because he had no choice but to win the Royal Rumble.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, that story. I'm so glad you didn't watch that Rumble when he did, like. That was an awesome story because it was like
he had no chance.
He had no chance in hell. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if he
either you win or you're fired. Yeah. And that was actually a really great job. He's in the prime of his life. Yeah. Orton got another 10, 15 years on him. Like Orton is that good, man. So I loved watching him work. Seth Rollins, he's had a tremendous build of being a top guy ever since he broke away from the Shield last June. He's been protected. He's been working hard. He's been really carrying the show as that heel. So I really like the Seth Rollins heel act, and I think it just got a little more elevated tonight, and we'll get to that. But Orton and Rollins, it was a great fast-paced match. The ending, Orton teases the punt kick, which we knew he probably wasn't going to do, but he teases the punt kick. I think Seth Rollins actually got a curve stop on Orton once where Orton kicked out. But the ending is J&J security get in the ring. Orton takes him out, and Seth Rollins gets him in the gut or whatever. And you think Seth Rollins is about to do another curve, like a second curve stomp to put him away. But what happens is, while Seth Rollins is jumping up in the air to step on Randy Orton's head, Orton launches Seth Rollins up in the air, extra, and then catches him midair with an RKO and wins the match. And Orton wins, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic. So yeah, absolutely great stuff here. And we get to watch back the matches, like it's really good. So, a really good start to the show so far. I was really impressed. And now the fifth match of the night, which would be the third match of the official pay-per-view. Now I was very surprised with the placing of this match. The third match on the show was Triple H versus Sting. Now, do you want me to go into Triple H?
I just was when you told me the match was this early, I was shocked.
I was shocked that I couldn't believe it, but they gave him a lot of time. And remember with the West Coast thing, with the show being on the West Coast, it's like it might be 8 o'clock in New York. I think it was around 8:10, maybe 8:10, maybe a little after 8 o'clock when the match started between Triple H and Hunter in New York. But it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so it was like bright daylight. So I kind of thought they would have wanted it to get darker, but that show as a whole never got dark. The last ending, the ending of it was like sunset. Yeah. I think it was like sunset. So it was a hell of a thing. It was the two had a fantastic match, man. There were run-ins. Triple H and Sting, the two men, they came in there. They had a really great physical battle. I thought Sting looked terrific. He wrestled without a shirt. And here were the crazy things. Here's where you decided, here's when I decided, or I had gotten the feeling that, that Triple H might be going over here, because during the match, while Sting has the advantage, D-Generation X comes out. Takes out, and it's X-Pac, it's Road Dogg, it's Billy Gunn. They come to attack Sting, but then Sting is able to fight them off, and then there's another spot in the match where Triple H has the advantage, and the New World Order, the NWO, comes out. So then, you have the DX in the favor of Triple H, and then you have the NWO in favor for Sting. So basically, and JBL kind of confirmed this on commentary. Basically, Marvin, they're going with a Monday Night Wars thing. And once it was WWE versus WCW, you had to have known. WWE was I became a little less surprised once Triple H, where I'm like. But I gotta tell you, man, even Shawn Michaels had to help Triple H out. So this really became a DX versus NWO war, which was only a matter of time before you had those two factions cross. But I was very surprised to see them in the match. And again, they had a really good match, man. The finish was really great. I'm sorry, Marv. Finish was really great. Triple H got his sledgehammers in. Sting's got his bat in. There's a spot where Sting takes the bat and actually smashes the sledgehammer in half. So I absolutely love that spot. And then Sting has Triple H in the corner. He hit the Stinger Splash on him. He's about to run at him again. And right before Sting's runs at Triple H again with another time, Triple H comes from the turnbuckle with part of the sledgehammer in hand and whacks Sting in the face with it and gets the 3 count. Now, I don't know what the future holds for Sting, because at the end of the match, people, Triple H offers his hand out and Sting shakes his hand. So they had a clean... That feud is like... There's no reason for that feud... That feud's not going... I am led to believe that feud is probably not going to continue. And that just might be the one-off deal, because Triple H genuinely stuck Sting, Steve Gordon, his real name, his hand in respect. And that was it. So I don't know what Sting does for next year. If Sting's going to be at WrestleMania 32, will it be Sting or Undertaker at WrestleMania 32? I would like to go to that show, so hopefully I'll get to see that. But I was very surprised. The whole booking of that match took me by surprise, in more positive ways than the negative ways. So I was very impressed with the Triple H and Sting. It was a war. Those guys got really physical. And when you look back at it, Triple H had bruises by his thigh, like real bruises. So it was a hard fought. Now I think and my viewers saw on the way, because after this match, you had AJ Lee and Paige against the Bella Twins, Vince McMahon's Bella Twins. He loves the Total Divas. He sees them as money. It was a pretty good match. They've had a pretty good, decent program. Were you able to watch the Shoot interview? Yeah. What'd you think of that shoot that Nikki did on AJ?
I thought it was kind of out of character and almost pretty forced.
So with the Bella Twins, I don't think they're as hated, but it's just like the way they talk is annoying. The Turtles Diva show just feels so forced and fake and dumb.
I find it interesting that the women who refuse to be on that show are the women who are absolutely adored.
Yeah.
Like Paige is on the show because she's so young, and she just looks at it like, well, it's marketing and promotion for my character.
Yeah.
But AJ refuses to be on that show. She refused to have an Instagram. Like her Instagram is was fabricated by the E.
And it's not, you can't get AJ. It's not like her husband's gonna do any filming.
Yeah, exactly.
So get this, he's not. So, and AJ, and this made me upset. I read an article the other day. I guess AJ took a lot of time off last year. Well, some of that time off was just stuff that she wanted, that she'd asked for. And then towards the end of the year, she hurt her neck. Yeah. So AJ was out. She was out for a while last year. But I just think that's just the McMahons, using AJ. It's terrible, but I get a feeling that she's going to start being that punching bag to get all the CM Punk frustrations out there.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, pretty soon. And it didn't happen tonight, luckily, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Tomorrow night, or when this is posted.
Once tonight, yeah.
When this is posted, she's going to start jobbing through.
Yeah. Maybe because it's there after me. Who knows? Yeah, I just feel like the relationship, and in case some of you do not know, AJ Lee is in fact married to CM Punk. I just feel like AJ, she's still a draw. She's still a top diva.
She's a hell of a draw.
She's still a hell of a draw. So so hopefully they. And they haven't, been too cruel to AJ, but I just feel like, with some of this...
Well, the crowd loves AJ. The company itself.
The company is just it's almost like...
It's coming. That train is never late. That
was a Chris Rock line. That train's never late.
They really hate CM Punk.
They hate CM Punk that much. Yeah, they might, yeah. No, there was even a spot where AJ is knocked out early during the match. And I thought, they're just going to have AJ knocked out in the apron. No, I really thought, they went back to her being knocked out. They had her get knocked out a second time, but that wasn't the case. The finish, Paige whips Brie Bella into the steel steps outside the ring, and AJ made Nikki Bella tap out with the leg hold, the Black Widow.
Yeah.
The Black Widow. I love AJ, man. It's beautiful.
When her legs are like this, or sculpted from marble, yeah.
Sculpted from marble, man. The back like a rubber. Oh, just
great to watch.
Great to watch, and actually very 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 good despite the physical aesthetics of AJ being pleasing. She can work her butt off in the ring, and
she wrestles just like her husband.
She's just like her husband. She's a punk, man. AJ Punk, man. Hopefully the CM Punk chants will eventually start dying out, or if they see her getting mistreated, they might accelerate. You never know. But pretty good tag match with a surprising, with a surprising.
CM Punk chants during Mania?
No. They.
Okay.
I think. I would like to think people have moved on. Yeah. I would like to think people.
I mean, they're gonna see him.
You'll see him pretty soon. I read about Punk debuting in the UFC as early as October.
That's not gonna happen.
Oh, you think you might go back to what, 2016?
Yeah, he'll get.
2016, right?
And also after I don't think his career is stint in UFC is gonna be long in terms of fighting, but I believe.
I think he just wants to try it out.
I think he's gonna try it out, but I think he's gonna be on as a commentator,
which would be great. Yeah, he's been. I think you know what? I think that's a great end game.
Like, what's the point? Like, it's for him to get credibility so he can commentate.
Exactly. That sounds great. It's a pretty good match. Coming up next, John Cena versus Rusev for the United States Championship.
I made it home for this.
Yes, Marvin, you made it home just in time for the burial of the Rusev character. Now, you gotta think, for people who've been watching Raw, who watch Raw, they know that this whole Rusev thing, I think it was pretty evident that this was just building up towards a Cena takedown.
I really thought that they were building up Rusev so Roman Reigns couldn't squash him.
Which might have been better off.
Better off because
they should have done a lot of things a year later and shouldn't have.
Yeah,
they really should.
I mean, a year later, Roman Reigns shouldn't be in the main event. But let's say that for later. But,
yes,
but it was weird. Even the entrance was weird. Like the crowd was dead because they were playing Russian propaganda music.
Which I love the entrance.
No, okay, let me rephrase that.
I know what you meant, but I just want to say that.
But the people who are listening doesn't understand. It was kind of like phrased poorly.
Sure.
The music was kind of jarring, but the entrance was incredible. Okay, guys, Lana is wearing like a real white two-piece. Yeah. Well, they weren't Christian, and I sound not like a heterosexual male, but they made her look like high fashion, carrying the U.S. belt.
She looks good. Oh man, it
was amazing.
Yeah, it's such a great visual with the bun and the tight white
dress and her legs. Okay, and then there's like these Russian imperial soldiers holding like the Russian flag. And you're like, okay, like where's Rusev? Like you're noticing like where the hell's Rusev? We don't give a shit because Lana is in front, and we're like, fine,
that's fine. But Rusev came out on a tank,
dude, a literal fucking tank. You heard that correctly. Yeah, a literal tank. Yeah, he came out on a tank, and then he started playing this music, and the crowd was hot.
The crowd was for it, man. And then you had the Cena intro package about being an American, and it was a decent, well put together video package.
Which was funny because I think the WWE shot their wad a couple years ago when he came out with the Marines. Yeah, and they couldn't double dip again.
Because if you had that Rusev character in like 06, you definitely would have been like doing that Marine thing. Yeah. So a couple years too late, Cena comes out to his famous John Cena Sucks chant. The John Cena Sucks song. It wasn't as good as it did in Peru back in the day.
Oh, everyone always goes back to that.
I go back to that because Peruvians, they were all like, John Cena sucks. It was all over them. John Cena sucks. Now, unfortunately, this crowd, a little more different backgrounds. Probably not a lot of hip hop listeners in the crowd. Probably not.
In the Bay Area, man. Like
right? You would think that, but it's still an international crowd too. So you got people from Israel and Ireland and Australia. So they did it how to them it was more like a sports thing, like a sports show. But still a good crowd. I love how Cena tries to pretend it's cool now, but doing the little finger. They're like, "Oh, great! Look, they say I suck." I'm like, "No, Cena, you just try and put on a smiling face." It was a pretty decent match. Rusev looked pretty good. Had a couple spin kicks. The match wasn't too long. but
it was some decent spots, but overall
decent
it
spots.
was a kind of sloppy match.
It was not. These next two matches might have been the least impressive to me. Yeah, it was a decent match. It was kind of they kind of did a distraction finish towards the end here. Lana gets to the ring. Cena whips Rusev into Lana. Lana gets knocked down. Looks like she hurt her ankle. Rusev distracting what's happening with after Lana gets knocked outside the ring. Gets caught in the AA by John Cena, and he is the new U.S. champion. And that is all. Rusev is entitled to a rematch, so maybe they'll have a third feud, but I doubt that. I think Cena will be the U.S. belt. I think Cena and Daniel Bryan are heading into a unification match this year.
That is interesting that you say that. I kind of don't want to see the IC and the U.S. battle.
Okay, and you have said this, and you have said this before. You feel that there needs to be another mid-card belt.
There needs to be another mid-card belt. I mean, people can argue, well, they have the Money in a Bank briefcase that's kind of like a belt.
Yeah.
It's the roster's too big for it. It's a good thing that, and okay, guys, hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
Disclaimer: Cena having the U.S. title is a good thing for the simple fact that it elevates the title. Mm-hmm. Even Rusev having the belt elevates him because he had it for so long, and he's a legitimate grappler athlete. So it's like, okay, that's good. Mm-hmm. But Cena does add more prestige to it just because of of the last decade he has as the main eventer.
Absolutely. So I don't think, and I think they're trying now that it's tough. Lesnar's back. I thought they're trying to make these belts seem bigger now. Because now Daniel Bryan's IC champion, John Cena's US champion. The paths are going to cross, and I don't know. I mainly because they just don't make these. These are the strongest mid card champions in a while. So I think they're really working hard to
since
bring
the
back.
days of, I will say his name, Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle.
Yeah, because who's going to beat John Cena for? Yeah, word. Because whoever beats John Cena for that U.S. belt's going to look really strong. Maybe an NXT guy, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But he has to beat John Cena clean.
It's gotta be clean because these are mid card titles. You do not need to have to go back to the Protect the Cena booking song. That thing is played out. So John Cena is the new U.S. champion. Then up next, it would not be WrestleMania in 2015 without a promo from the Authority. Now I saw Triple H was back in suit mode. And I kind of thought. Now I noticed at first they didn't introduce him as the Authority at first. Stephanie McMahon was putting over the WrestleMania attendance figure.
Evan was so swerved.
I was so swerved. I am so done with this Authority gimmick. I'm begging. I thought Survivor Series was the perfect way to end it. They didn't do it. It was annoying, and it really undercut that great Ziggler moment, that great Survivor Series Dolph Ziggler moment. But
You mean D. Bryan?
No, excuse me. I was saying because back at Survivor Series last year.
When he
yeah, Dolph Ziggler was the guy who was the winning member of that team. So that was actually
yes.
Which in all honesty was probably a network ploy, but I like the idea though. It's like because when it was Survivor Series, that month you can subscribe for the network for free, right? So you got and you want it's all about the subscribers now. So like, what better way to get people to sign up and get a free pay-per-view and actually want them to pay for the network is that Survivor Series, you have a crowd favorite, Dolph Ziggler going over, and the return of Sting. So I thought it was they did a great job with that Survivor Series ending. Unfortunately, they didn't stick to the Authority being fired thing, so that was kind of annoying. And then they go on to say, and then, Stephanie says, WrestleMania wouldn't be nothing without me, so it is a real, they're still in heel mode. Triple H bragged about beating Sting, and they talked for a little bit while, and then all of a sudden you hear, "If you smell," as The Rock shows up to WrestleMania 31 to a wonderful reaction from the crowd. Rock starts getting in Triple H and Stephanie's face. Rock brings up the classic rivalry that they had back in the day, which I remember firsthand. That was one of the first big wrestling rivalries that I got into when I was younger. So I know all about The Rock and Triple H, their history back then. So it was a really great moment. it was really a cool moment to have and to witness. Stephanie gets in Rock's face saying that there would not be The Rock without the McMahons, and then Stephanie starts bringing up The Rock's family lineage, and then all of a sudden Stephanie slaps The Rock pretty bad. You know, it was a pretty nasty slap. Stephanie's like, now get out of my ring. You know, tries to punk The Rock out. Rock goes out of the ring, looks to the crowd. You start hearing a couple of Ronda Rousey chants, and lo and behold...
A little.
Excuse me. A lot of Ronda Rousey chants. Of course, she is the UFC Bantamweight Women's Champion. Current resident UFC badass. Most dangerous person on the planet, in my opinion, man or woman. And happens to be beautiful. So all those good things. Rock goes up to Ronda Rousey. And now, I had seen... Now, Ronda Rousey... I like that they started chanting that because you saw they showed you a shot of Ronda Rousey earlier in the show. So Rock gets Ronda Rousey to the ring, you know, and now you have Rock side by side with Ronda Rousey against Triple H and Stephanie. It was a pretty awesome moment. Rock says, "I'm done talking." Starts beating up Triple H a bit. Would have loved to have seen a rock bottom, but you know, can't always get what you want. And then Ronda Rousey and Stephanie's getting in her face. And then Ronda Rousey actually picks up the mic and goes, "Any ring is my ring," or something like that. And I was like, oh, God. And then Ronda Rousey proceeds to get a little arm. Oh, she takes down Triple H. That was awesome with that little arm drag. She took him down. That was sick. And then she tried to, take, Stephanie with him. She tried to get one of Stephanie's arm for I don't know what, because she would have killed her, like legit killed her. So, Triple H and Stephanie out of the ring.
It was a great moment because as we were watching this, I was like, well, Ronda Rousey can't kick or punch Triple H or Stephanie because she can't. Yeah,
it's like she's a weapon.
She's a weapon. If she can slip and really hurt them, Rock can pretend and he can slip and they'll be fine. But if Ronda Rousey puts a little weight in, teeth will be knocked out.
It will be bloody WrestleMania Sunday if Ronda Rousey was around. So that didn't happen, but it was an awesome moment. Rock and Ronda Rousey stood tall in the ring. Triple H and Stephanie carried away. So it was a good segment that was clearly, and that's where the Andre the Battle Royal time went, basically to that little time slot. So now we got this was probably the most anticipated match on the card, and to be honest, I think this kind of didn't quite live up to the expectations. It was Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. I loved Bray Wyatt's entrance with the Walking Dead, or as you, Marvin.
Well, okay,
it's like this little zombie Walking Dead thing. But Marvin, you said that those were crumpers.
They were crumpers because
the actual performers.
They were in a Bay Area, and crumping. That's where crumping really started. Mm-hmm. And I noticed and what I loved about this entrance was, from the audience standpoint, you already see the dancers. If you're there, you see the scarecrows. Yeah, the dancers are dressed as scarecrows, and you're like, okay, whatever. But if you're watching it at home, or you see from this tight camera angle, and he's walking, you see a scarecrow, and he taps it, and then just a little nuance, he taps it, and they'll start moving, and it was just these really rhythmic, really intermittent movement of crumpers dancing like scarecrows, mm-hmm. And it was just really incredible, and
it was sick. Yeah,
the crowd was so enthralled because the audience was so quiet.
And actually, what was great, Marvin, is that it looked better on camera because on the camera at home, it looked like these guys were coming out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I thought that was brilliant. Yeah. So the one thing I always like about WrestleMania is it seemed because we went to film production school, so we appreciate the sort of cinema aspects of professional wrestling and the production of it, and having working as a PA, really putting out putting all that together. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work and a lot of stress. So I thought props to all the entrances. The people who behind Sting entrance was really good. Excuse me, Sting had a really good entrance. Because he had this little Shanghai theme going on, that was great. Triple H had this fantastic Terminator sequence as his entrance, and then you had the Bray Wyatt entrance. I was very happy with that. Undertaker came out. It was not the biker gimmick. There was rumors of him coming back as the American Badass, but his hair is grown back, and the two of them I thought had a great match they had a good match psychologically. There was good storytelling. There was good,
Beautiful.
It was really, yeah.
Beautiful story told in this match. Beautiful story. Evan is. We're like switching roles. Like I was more lenient on this match than Evan.
Word, yeah.
You know what it is? I know. And Evan lives with me, so we live with each other, so we know.
Yeah.
Evan is fully aware of like how many fights I've been in, and I know after a certain point,
yeah,
you just can't move. You just can't move, and I'm not like a crippled person. I'm fine, but in the body of Mark Calloway, also known as Undertaker,
yes,
he's a 50-year-old man that's been concussed, who's been broken, and can't move like he wants.
He really can't. And the thing is, and he took because last year, like Alex Cool's last year, he got hurt during the match. You're in there with Brock Lesnar. He got concussed, and the match wasn't a 5-star match. The only thing, the big thing that happened last year was that he actually lost, and that overtook people. People just saw him losing, and that was the big finish, and that was a hell of a finish because the finish was everything. Mm-hmm. This year, Undertaker, he did look better. He looked a little healthier. He looked better in shape, but he still wasn't quite moving like he did 5 years ago. And basically, Undertaker, he hung in there, and he looked like he got through it. But that's the thing, like he's just getting like these are not. I feel like these are not. We're not getting these 5-star matches from the Undertaker anymore.
I think we will never.
Which is why I think that's why I think like how long can he really keep going on?
Honestly, I think the next WrestleMania is his last WrestleMania.
It's gotta be.
But like I don't want to belabor the point that Evan is absolutely right. This match wasn't.
Yeah, I think Undertaker. No, I don't want to take anything away from Taker. He worked hard and he did look better. It looked like he was able to hold his own. But it just shows. But then again, like, and I'll admit, I'm spoiled. Like I've seen in the past decade we've gotten like 5-star Undertaker matches. Like the match with Orton was great. The match with Batista was great. The match with Edge was great.
That match.
The wars with Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and the last victory, your guys CM Punk. That was also an awesome match.
I mean,
So they had 5-star matches 5 years in a row, and you're getting older. So I understand that it's not an easy feat, and I still don't think it was a 5-star match. And I'm not sure whether I should expect it, mainly because Undertaker. It was tough because Undertaker wasn't there, and Bray Wyatt had to really carry this thing.
Yeah, and they had to move slow. They had to move slow. Bray is a fast, big buck.
We call him a Ferrari. We call him a Ferrari.
Too, man. Like,
and we were concerned about Undertaker. I was like, dude, Undertaker, like, so what happened last year with Lesnar, man? He's like, it's like you got in a car accident, and then you go back into the fastest car in the line in like a year off. So, it just like he turned 50 this week, so. I thought it was a good match. It was a sluggish match, and it was a believable fight.
It was a great story to watch.
It was an absolutely great story. It was a good story.
There were spots, psychological spots that they did in this match that was
really well
that you would see in film.
Really well done. Yeah,
you will see these spots in films, and it was just great to watch.
And we like the selling because you come up to me like, hey, I don't think he's selling here.
Yeah. Like it was and I mean I
remember the spot too where we looked a little red.
Yeah, he was. There was the point when he did the tombstone power driver. He was. I was comparing like how he looked when he was doing that move and how when he got slammed, like Bray Wyatt did this crazy like underhook shoulder slam, and it was like nasty. And like Taker's.
Oh yeah, and you saw his head bounce.
And you saw his head bounce, and Taker's face was beat red. And his eyes were, which
is part of the good story they told. Because that was just like it's almost like especially with these later Taker matches, like every shot is more effective because the fans knows what the Undertaker's been putting his body through.
Yeah.
So I'll absolutely give you that. But Undertaker gives him a tombstone. Bray kicks out of the first tombstone.
Yeah, man, and then he chokeslammed him tombstone. He kicks out of that, and then. It's just like a spot before that, like he went for the snake eyes. Yeah. And then what we were talking about for months. We were talking about this for months when the infamous crossbody lariat from Bray Wyatt, and we're like, Taker has to take one. Taker has to at least take one of those.
He's got to take one of them, and he did. It was good.
Yeah.
And it was effective, especially with those crossbody lariats. So it was effective, but I thought it was a pretty good showing for a man who got really hurt last year. So I'm just glad he didn't get hurt. And who knows, maybe Obviously ring rust. You hadn't been in the ring in 1 year, so obviously there was ring rust in there too. So I think Undertaker though next year WrestleMania 32, Dallas, Texas, Undertaker's home state. You got to think this is going to be his last match. I was under the impression they're going to do Undertaker and Sting, but then that was on the thought that nobody thought that Sting was going to lose tonight until he actually did lose tonight. So that Undertaker and Sting match, it might not be necessary, but then again, it's just like I'm not sure if I still don't know, and I can't tell if the Undertaker, if he just doesn't have those 5-star performances anymore, or maybe he was just sort of like, or maybe they want to maybe have him work again, or maybe if they feel that they need Undertaker in tip-top shape for next year, they feel they have to have Undertaker at his best if they can. Maybe you put him in the ring again. Maybe it's SummerSlam this year or something, or maybe have a return match with Bray Wyatt if you want to get him ring shape ready again. I wouldn't be against it.
I mean, I don't want to see another match with Bray. Only if Bray goes on, because Bray needs to win.
Bray, yeah. I mean, Bray's he's been booked strong to this point because they needed Bray to go. They knew they wanted to do this thing with Undertaker. But I just hope they keep this momentum with Bray. This wasn't as bad as the Cena loss.
Oh, Bray! I think Bray is impervious to being buried.
I think after once he's survived the Cena.
He can survive any burial.
Yeah, he's bullets. Bullets are bouncing off him. So I think Bray Wyatt. I would absolutely love to see Bray Wyatt win the championship at SummerSlam. I cannot wait. So, but not a bad match. I was a little disappointed.
Great storytelling.
It was good, great storytelling. I was a little disappointed, but there was some good storytelling going on here. But that's just my opinion. But also, I feel like I should expect that the Undertaker just doesn't have those. He might not have those classics anymore.
Evan is turning into me, and I'm turning into Evan.
Well, the roles have switched here.
Because I'm a hard ass on matches.
Marvin is tough. He's tough. He is definitely tough with in-ring work. And I like the emotional connection. But it was good to see Undertaker back and seemingly looking well. So we'll see what happens next year at WrestleMania 32. And now something we can agree on now is time for the main event.
Yes.
Oh my God. Brock Lesnar, the reigning, defending, undisputed WWE Heavyweight Champion of the World, defends his belt against the 2015 Royal Rumble winner Roman Reigns. And if you listened to our Royal Rumble podcast 2 months ago, you knew how we felt about the Reigns thing, and we didn't think they were going to change it. They tried to tease the Daniel Bryan thing last month with the match at Fastlane, but Roman Reigns won that, and we weren't really surprised. We didn't really do a review of Fastlane because we didn't really think it was necessary, and it really wasn't. It was the same day as the Oscars. I was just like, I can't. Sorry, Fastlane. You just weren't. And I saw the show, and the show wasn't even all that great. But man, Roman Reigns, he came into those boos, boy. He came into those boos, and Brock Lesnar came in like a lion, and right off the bat, Brock hits him with it. No, when did Brock get cut immediately? Like
Reigns went for this like a tackle, like a 2-point tackle, and I don't know how, but Reigns hit him with his forearm, and I know how he cut him. He cut him with his forearm piece.
The little tape thing.
Yeah, tape thing. That can cut you. That can really. That can cut you. And Brock got bloody. He got bloody really fast.
He got bloody. They bled. They did not shy away from blood in this match. I'll take credit. I mean, this match was like 70. I would say it was about 80%, 85% Lesnar, probably even more. No, I would say this match was 90% Lesnar.
Yeah,
I'll give it that. It was Lesnar pretty much. He like we thought. He dominated Roman Reigns a lot of it. He hit an F5 in the beginning.
Yeah, that's something
that we shot up for, and the ref looked fucking shocked too.
Thank you, Evan. Yeah, that's why they pay Evan the big bucks.
Yes.
He did the okay, people. Those who watch WrestleMania, if you're listening to this, you have to watch WrestleMania. But
yeah,
he did the F5 within I think 3 minutes of the match. Mm-hmm. And I have a feeling, I'm pretty certain that he wasn't supposed to do the F5 that early.
No,
because the referee
Mike Hill was like, because the referee has an earpiece, so he knows what's going on.
Yeah, he has surveillance in his ear, and the referee looked at Brock Lesnar like this dude just took a piss in church.
Oh, word.
And he looked at Brock like, dude,
Brock was like,
what the fuck?
What happened there?
Yeah.
And now we started getting nervous, man, because like
I was happy.
We were happy about that F5 because I was like, oh man, like what if like they kicked out. Wasn't surprised they kicked out at first. They did the same thing at some. It's funny because Brock did the same spot at SummerSlam where he hit Cena with the F5 in the first 2 minutes, and I thought it was freaking over.
Yeah,
thought it was freaking over. So he kicked out. Not surprised to that. But then, we got nervous, man. Like Roman Reigns kept smiling during the match while Lesnar was kicking him. Now looking back on it, it was not a bad effect. Like Roman. They did what they can to make Roman look strong. That's always the moniker backstage. It seems like, at least from what I've heard about what CM Punk has said. But Lesnar just kicked the absolute living shit out of Roman Reigns during this.
Dude, it got to the point. Let me just. I hope people from WWE is listening to this. I mean, I doubt it, but if you are, this WrestleMania is a good litmus test for how not over Reigns is.
This was the litmus test. They really they went to work this year, man. They went to work and they had to use their stars, and it was a true litmus test.
Yeah, and it got to the point where Reigns, it was such a one-sided cheer fest for Brock Lesnar that it got to the point where people were counting. The audience was counting suplexes. Counting. Yeah, they were doing 8 chants.
The 8 chants. Yeah, because by that point he had suplexed the dude 8 times. Now again Reigns kept smiling, so we thought, dude, like why is Reigns? Is this like we thought it was like one of those smiles, like I'm booked to win this match. So we thought, oh, dude, like we thought Roman Reigns was actually going to win this because he kicked out of not 1, not 2, but 3 F5s, and we were like, dude, this is bogus because the Undertaker didn't kick out of 3 F5s. So I was like, why is this guy kicking out 3 F5s?
To be fair, Brock Lesnar could cuss that dude really fast, really fast, and when he was doing F5s on Taker, he was dropping that dude on his head.
Dropping that dude on his head hard. Yeah, so that was rough. But Lesnar was getting, Roman Reigns was getting suplexed, he was getting kneed, he was getting punched. Lesnar looked dazed and confused, man, and Brock was throwing this boy all over Levi's Stadium, man.
There was one knee, sorry, man, but there was one knee that Lesnar did. I mean,
when they showed in slow mo back?
Yeah, the slow motion. Yeah. And I saw this, I noticed this before they showed the slow motion because I paid attention to
absolutely
contact.
Yeah.
And Evan and I are noticing okay, Reigns is taking a lot of bumps, a lot of suplex, a lot of F5s, but he's laying on his back, his shoulder, whatever. Mm-hmm. Now, early in the year, Reigns had last year, he had
an appendix injury.
Appendix injury.
Yeah.
That's right by your stomach. And there was a spot where he did a suplex. He suplexed him out the ring, and then there was another spot from the ropes that was a very simple looking hit. It was like he kneed him right in the stomach.
Yeah.
And I saw Reigns' face just wince up like he was in dire pain.
Yeah, that's the thing. Reigns he took that beating, man, and when Reigns started doing the comeback. When Reigns did the comeback, that's when we felt like crap.
I started getting sick. I started getting physically sick.
Because we were like, no, they cannot do this. Reigns gave Brock Lesnar 3 Superman punches. He gave him 2 spears, and he still kicked out.
Evan, I'm watching this with Evan. I was getting mad, but Evan
Marvin, the emotion on your face and disgust.
I was disgusted. I was disgusted. I was angry. I was physically getting sick. But Evan went into this weird place of controlled, silent rage.
Yeah,
Evan, those you.
It doesn't sound like you're not going to do the show, but I was right there with him. No.
Evan is a big dude. He's 6'2" and a big dude.
In case you guys, because this is a recording, so they don't physically know what I look like.
I'm 5'9". Evan's 6'2", and just quiet rage, and I'm like. I'm verbally what the fuck?
And Marvin's Porter's no, this is not fair. But I felt how Marvin felt, but I was just it was the suppressed anger. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
my suppressed
quiet rage.
Because I'm how many times are they going to keep doing this to the fans? So, but then something happened, right? Lesnar hits a 4th F5 on Roman Reigns. I'm like, dude, he's hit what are you? He's hit 4 F5s, and he kicked out of him. Did he kick out? No. he couldn't cover him because he was beat.
He was beaten. They were sprawled from across the ring.
And then thrash punk rock music hits, which is the one way which is how we describe what happened. The thrash punk music hits as Mr. Money in the Bank, Seth Rollins, sprints down to the ring, takes his briefcase, and tells the referee that he's going to cash it in right now while both guys are down late in the game, turning this into a triple threat match. Now, we were like, oh God, yes, but he's got to stay on it. Now, curious to these cash-ins, right? In the past, they have done such a good job when they do the actual cash-in because they always make it seem like a surprise. It always gets you in the moment.
Yes.
And you're always like, do it now, put him right now. We hate Roman Reigns, put him right now. So, like, and at the time, we're standing up. The last 5 minutes of the match, we stood up.
Yes, we were standing up.
We stood up because we were just like, oh my God, it's going to do it. And then, like, Reigns is in the match. Rollins is getting in the match now. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar
are beat the fuck out.
Yeah.
Genuinely hurt. They're genuinely hurt. Like,
and then Brock, there's a spot in the match before Rollins comes out. I forgot to mention it. Or Brock Lesnar gets his head rammed into the ring post, and it looked bad. And
it wasn't a blade job. He was really bleeding.
There was blood. They bled in this match, man. And another thing before I go back to Seth Rollins is that he took his gloves off.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So this is my favorite spot. This is my favorite spot in the match, and this is like, people who's gonna hear this will be like, "What? A slap? No. These slaps were like,
yes."
So Brock Lesnar is 6'3", and he's about 250.
The Brock Lesnar is 286. They didn't tell the tape earlier today. Brock is 286.
286. Okay, thank you. He's 286 of pretty much lean muscle, and he's full palming, slapping
Roman Reigns
down, and he's taking off his gloves. And these slaps look harder than punches.
Word.
To the point where, like, Roman Reigns is smiling the first two slaps, and then he's getting hurt.
And then his eyes are like, oh, this sucks. Yeah.
Like, he's like...
Brock slapped him down, and you can feel Reigns' body, like, slamming to the mat. Brock slapped him down against the cage.
It got to the point where the audience wasn't clapping anymore. They were like, whoa.
Oh, it was like... Oh, this is beating.
Yeah, there's like... Because it's just like Brock Lesnar's a maladjusted human being, and it's like... Holy shit, he's hurting this man. Like, for real.
Word, man. But now, so it was an awesome spot. But then when Seth Rollins comes out, he takes... I think he gets Reigns out of the ring. He goes to work on Brock Lesnar. I think he gives him... Brock took like 2 curve stomps. He takes 2 curve stomps, and then I think Brock was going to get I think it goes to pin Brock. I think Reigns gets involved. Brock rolls out of the ring, so you don't see him.
But just the point. When Rollins first comes in, I thought this was genius. Mm-hmm. Not Reigns. When Rollins comes in, when he's about to cash in, he kicks Reigns out the ring.
Yes, he does.
That was logical. Usually when people cash in, it's like this really sloppy, Rollins kicks Reigns out the ring, and he stares at Reigns like, okay, he's out. He's out. Okay, and he immediately goes for the curb stomp to Brock Lesnar. And I thought it was a small detail, but I loved it because he was covering all bases.
He's covering. Now, absolutely. You said it perfectly. You said it perfectly. And the actual ending is he curb stomped Reigns, right? How to get Reigns back? I know that I feel like we just saw it, but basically Roman he curved.
Oh my God! I remember. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah.
So this is amazing. So this is similar to Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar picks up. Rollins is going for another curb stomp to Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar swerves out the way.
Yes.
Puts him in an F5.
Yes.
Reigns comes in with a spear.
Yes. And that's what got Brock Lesnar out of the match. Yeah.
Brock Lesnar rolls out, and then Rollins lands like he's fine and curb stomps Reigns.
Curb stomps Reigns. Yeah, Brock is out. He rolls over, curb stomps Reigns. He curb stomps Roman Reigns. He covers Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of the WrestleMania main event via Money in the Bank cash-in, the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion is Seth Rollins.
Yes.
And that is how WrestleMania 31 ends. Brock Lesnar, he never gets pinned. He gets attacked out of the ring. He pinned Roman Reigns, and it was gorgeous. The crowd went crazy. Marvin and I hugged
twice.
We hugged twice. We were so happy because this is what we really wanted to happen like the whole time.
Yeah, man. Evan's Infinite Wisdom, and this is, and to me, I even said this.
Even then, Infinite Wisdom, but I still was not sure they were going to
exactly.
Yeah, I still got lost in it. But they did how I would do it. They did how
I said it too. I was like, well,
they did a couple things differently, but they kept everyone strong.
Yeah.
They kept everyone strong. Roman Reigns took a hellacious beating and smiled about it. So Reigns looked pretty good. Brock Lesnar was not pinned to lose the WWE Championship. And Seth Rollins, 10 years after the first Money in the Bank match happened at 21 at WrestleMania 31 for the first time in the decade history of that briefcase, we get a Mania cash-in.
Yeah, thank you, Evan, for saying that.
Yes,
I was waiting to say that.
Yes, I'm sorry, I saw you had it, but I saw you had that. But I just wanted to.
No,
it's just really, yeah.
It's thank you. I like.
But that's what happens. Seth Rollins cashes in Money in the Bank, pins Roman Reigns in the main event, and becomes the WWE Champion. Triple H's pet project from NXT all those years ago, Ring of Honor, Tyler Black, the architect of the Shield, the worker of the Shield, the best bumper of the company, the top heel, the smug jerk as a heel, a fantastic heel character, but an excellent worker, and your new champion.
Yeah.
Is Seth Rollins, and it was just a great ending to overall, folks. WrestleMania 31 was actually a pretty damn good show. And Marvin, let me know when you watch back these matches. I think you'll enjoy some of these matches.
I will watch
back and let me know what you think, folks. But folks, I would actually put this. I thought as a whole you had a better show than Mania 30. Now the best things. Now here's though, because last year at Mania 30, you had the Daniel Bryan wins. The Daniel Bryan saga was really well done, and you had the streak ending. Those were really the two big stories. Now you had a pretty good card last year with 30. But I thought overall, 31, they actually kind of had a better show. So I really liked WrestleMania 31. A completely different outlook than how we felt at the Royal Rumble. Hopefully they realize what they have to do with this Reigns thing now, to scale it back. And Vince McMahon, kudos. I know Roman Reigns is Vince's guy, but on that night, he just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was the only way you can book that match.
That was the only way you could have booked that match, and as at WrestleMania, you have to leave the fans happy. And they did it. So, folks, thank you so much for joining me on my WrestleMania 31 review. We got some, next week is Easter Sunday, and it's the resurrection of not only Jesus Christ we celebrate, but the resurrection of Mad Men as they finish off the last seasons. The last 7 episodes of Mad Men begin next week. Shameless is ending soon. Game of Thrones is coming back in 2 weeks. We got some TV shows for you. WrestleMania has come and gone. The next pay-per-view will be Extreme Rules on April 26th. And arguably, the greatest wrestling city in America, Chicago, Illinois. Chirac with Seth Rollins going into, hopefully Seth Rollins will be going into...
Most likely go over it, Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah,
most definitely go
I think you'll probably do. They'll probably do a Rollins.
He's a mix of.
I won't be surprised if they have a triple threat rematch, like an official triple threat rematch. Just get Brock in there, like.
Oh yeah, Chicago.
Yeah, and then just go triple threat war. Just go out and Extreme Rules Chicago. That should be a great show. I'm gonna try and review that show for you guys. The next big event, SummerSlam, April 23rd, right down the street from our house in Brooklyn, New York. I think. I would love it if Bray Wyatt got his championship moment there.
Guys, Bray Wyatt's going to win the strap very soon, so don't worry about it. I mean...
How long do you think Seth Rollins is going to be champion now?
Probably 3 months, max.
You give him, I think he'll have it until SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think...
That seems to be the new, that seems to be the new...
I don't think they want to play hot potato with the belt.
Yeah, keep the belt on until SummerSlam. Yeah, that seems to be let's try out till SummerSlam. It's let's keep the belt on. And Seth Rollins, I think Seth Rollins is going to go far. I think if you really look at it, I think he'll do really well as champion. Who knows? Maybe Bray Wyatt Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. I like it.
It would be huge. It would be the pops will be incredible.
Yeah. Oh, you got the Orton.
No one's gonna boo. No.
Yeah.
And Orton's gonna get a title shot.
Orton beat Rollins. So
yeah, he's gonna get a title shot.
Orton might be first in line for. Yeah, he might be first in line for this championship. Yeah. So.
And I'm really happy that Orton went over. I'm really
absolutely.
happy.
Yeah, it was a hell of a match. And Orton needed to go over. And now it made sense that Orton went over because Seth Rollins is the WWE champion. Well deserved. Was really built up as the top sneaky heel for the year, and I'm so glad they realized that Seth Rollins deserved to be the champion right now, and I think Seth Rollins is gonna have a lot of people to work with. Brock Lesnar's sticking around. Brock Lesnar's sticking around now, so he's gonna want to kick somebody's ass. Brock's on a 3-year deal, so you're gonna see a lot more of Brock Lesnar. So I can't wait. But all in all, WrestleMania 31, a very good show. I highly recommend it. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of the MTW Podcast. I was very excited to do this show. You guys take care, and we will see you next time. We're out.